Hi everyone, it's Dr. Dan Ritchie, president of the Functional Aging Institute, and today I am really excited about our presentation on Facebook strategies to attract more boomer clients, and we've got Josh Carter here with us. And Josh, are you hearing us okay?
I am. Yeah, we're
Cool,
good.
cool.
So,
And I think I
I
threw
can
you,
see your
I
beautiful
think I,
face too.
I think I threw you the controls, so you're gonna
I,
take this thing
I,
away. I've known Josh since 2010. When we first met in Seven Figure Mastermind, a coaching group with Bedros Keuilian. And Josh owns his own personal training studio in West Hills, California, and also is the Chief Marketing Officer for Fit Body Bootcamp. So he's sort of been my go-to Facebook expert for several years now, and I've seen him teach and present, and we're thrilled that he's speaking at our DC event in October. And I asked him to give us a quick teaser and some quick insight tips. So Josh, take it away. Thanks so much.
all right. Thanks, Dan. I want to confirm that everybody can see my screen. So somebody could let me know in that question box that, yeah, you could see something that should say the future of Facebook marketing. Can you guys see that?
Yep, I'm getting a whole bunch of yeses,
Okay. Yeah.
about 15 yeses scrolling in, so I think we're good.
Great. 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 All right. Excellent. Excellent. All right, everybody. Okay, so my name is Josh Carter. I want to thank Dan for that wonderful intro that you gave me. I'm going to go over some Facebook stuff. I am kind of the go-to guy in the fitness industry for Facebook marketing. And it's just kind of funny. As much as I know, I'm learning new stuff every day, and there's always someone who knows something that I don't. So, if at the end you guys got questions or whatever, feel free to chime in, and I will certainly do my best to answer. The bottom line is that it's not as difficult as most people think, and also you really can't screw it up that much, unless you do something stupid like set a a $500 a day budget and then forget about it for a couple weeks. Well, that's dumb. But it's a lot of it comes down to testing and knowing what's going on. And so, Dan, as I go through, if you've got a question or whatever, or if you see somebody else has one, please feel free to interrupt. And
Yeah,
I
I'll do,
might
I'll
be
do that. I'll jump in if you're going too fast or if somebody's got a...
yeah, please do, because I get
Yep,
excited and then I talk fast.
yep.
Actually, let's just get rolling and let me know. And I might have some questions for you, Dan, as we go on, because I know we're talking about a little bit older population, which isn't my forte, but let's see what we got here. Ooh, too many. All right, so here's some statistics. Basically, I wanted to look up some Facebook statistics the other day, as I hadn't looked in a few months, and it's kind of funny because basically Facebook kind of has almost all but given up on saying how many users they have, because basically it's just everybody. Everybody's on Facebook right now, and but what was interesting to me was the amount of older population. I was at a conference with Gary Vaynerchuk last February maybe, and he had a couple of interesting insights. And one of the things that he said was that oh, I knew that the grandparents would be getting on as soon as the parents were posting pictures of the kids, because the grandparents want to see the pictures of the grandkids, and that's very true. And actually, a lot of research has been done in the older populations. What do you call them, Dan? Aging populations? I don't want to misstate what they are.
Well, boomers for the 52 to
Boomers.
70, and then the 70 plus, you can call that the builder generation. You could even call it the senior generation and probably get away with that. So just don't call them seniors to their face.
I won't. All right, cool. So, but you know what? The recent research has shown that the main reason they get on the social networks is, especially Facebook, is for the same reason we do, and it's to connect with friends, and it allows them to connect with people they haven't seen in years or decades. And so some of these statistics that I came across yesterday, I found kind of fascinating. So the 50-plus age group represents 25% of current Facebook users, and that's a huge chunk. They are not the most, they're not the dominant age group, but that's okay, because there's still a ton. So I want to say the dominant age group is the 25 to 35 age group, but still not a lot. The 45 plus is the fastest growing demographic on Facebook, so that's interesting. The average boomer has approximately 100 friends, and 35% of all U.S. adults over the age of 65 are now on Facebook, and that's a huge number. I mean, just considering how many, and Dan, you probably know more about how many boomers there are, how many people over 65 there are in the United States, but that represents a huge population. And it's funny, they're becoming more and more tech savvy. A lot of what I was seeing is that initially They, some people wouldn't even know how to like a post. They would literally just write the word like in the comments. But they're becoming more and more tech savvy and learning how to comment, like, share, all that same stuff that we youngins, and I say that sarcastically because my birthday's next week. But so that they're doing everything that we do, and so it is basically when I give these Facebook talks, what I try to impart to people is that your prospects are on Facebook. They're there. It is the big boy in the social media world. Sure, there's Instagram, there's Snapchat, there's Twitter, there's all those other ones, and those are all well and good. But generally speaking, the older population right now is here. The other platforms I just mentioned tend to skew much younger. Twitter's almost the same as Facebook, give or take. Instagram is definitely younger, and Snapchat is way younger actually. So that is what it is. But basically, you want to be on Facebook advertising, and you want to, for me, what I tell my coaching clients is they need to do it every day. They need to be running ads every single day, and I'll get more into that as we get going. Okay. So it's all about funnels, and in case you're not familiar with what a funnel is, it is a way of drawing in clients. It is, basically at the top. I think my next slide shows this. So here we go. So what is a funnel? It is a method of taking suspects into prospects, into leads, into customers. And different people might split that funnel language up differently or call those different things. But basically, you're taking people that you don't know you, and turning them into clients, paying customers, paying clients, which is ultimately what we want. And the beautiful thing about our industry is it's not like we're selling booze or cigarettes or something like that. We are literally selling something awesome. I mean, people should be throwing money at us because we improve their lives. We make them healthier, we make them move better, and ultimately we make them happier. We improve lives every single day. The unfortunate thing is sometimes we have to convince people of that. Right? We have to, convince them that yes, you will be making a good decision, and we need to be so passionate about what we do, and that what we do will change their lives. That we have to believe deep down in our core that if they don't purchase from us, their lives will be worse. That we've done them a disservice if they don't. So that's how passionate you need to be about your marketing and your sales. All right. So part of what I'm going to go through today is kind of talking about how that we need to kind of capture that passion and get it into our marketing. All right. Am I making sense so far, Dan?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So, and funnels can come in different forms, but generally speaking, you run some sort of opt-in maybe to get them on an email list, and then you email them and show them Facebook ads, and get them to some sort of sales page, which offers them an LBO, which stands for a low barrier offer, which is some sort of, 14-day, it could be 14-day, 21-day, 28-day, 6-week, whatever program that is a relatively low cost, a low barrier of entry, easy for them to get in, relatively low cost, where you show them the value of your program, everything it has to offer, and then, of course, you have some sort of sales conversion process where you convert them into long-term paying clients. Because LBO money is great, awesome, right? But I'm willing to take every penny of that LBO money, and even sometimes I'll take double or even triple that amount that I get from that LBO and spend that to retain them as a client, right? Because for me, a year-long agreement is give or take $2,000. So will I spend $200 to make $2,000? You're damn right I will. Absolutely. So keep that in mind as well as we go forward. But anyway, that's what our current funnels, kind of look like. Let's talk about traffic. Now, the thing is, we want to get our message in front of people that will be receptive to what we have to offer, right? We want to get our message, our marketing message, in front of eyeballs that want to see it. So if we're selling a boomer fitness package, we don't want to show it to a 25-year-old. What the hell good is that going to do, right? So we need to figure out ways to create audiences for our advertising in such a way that they will be targeted audiences. And so if we're looking at a traffic temperature in this little graphic here, there's cold, warm, and hot. And again, you can have as many varying degrees of cold, warm, and hot as you want. But let's just go on the basic level. Cold traffic will be people who have not heard of you. people who don't know who you are, don't know what you have to offer, it is very unlikely that that person will buy from you the first time or even the second or third time they see any sort of advertising from you, right? So it is unlikely they will that they'll click the buy button. It can happen. Some people are just buyers. They go, damn, yeah, I'll take that, boom. But, in all likelihood, it's not going to happen. Warm traffic would be people who have in some way heard of you, know who you are, have some basis of know, like, trust. Maybe they're on your email list or something like that, and so they have some connection to you. So they know about you, know what you do, what you offer, something, right? And so an example of that would be someone who's maybe a fan of your fan page or is also on your email list, something like that. That would be what I would consider warm traffic. Hot would be someone who's already bought from you. Someone who's already bought from you, assuming you did a good job, is also going to be someone who will most likely purchase from you in the future. So that would be hot traffic, right? So let me backtrack a little bit. So if I'm going to the cold traffic, I would send something very easy, something that doesn't require a purchase, so like an opt-in. I have no problem showing opt-in ads to cold traffic because that's how I can get their email address, which would send them to the warmer spot where now they're on my email list, and I can build that know like trust relationship. Because the truth of the matter is Facebook is a great way to get suck people into your funnel, but it's not a great way at this point to build a relationship. Sure, if they get on your fan page and they see your stuff, but it's nowhere near as powerful as getting them on your email list where you can send them, essentially lengthy and more personalized messages that speak to them more directly, right? So that's why I would send to cold traffic. Warm traffic, I would have no problem showing ads to that are for some sort of low barrier offer. Same would go for hot. Now, if they're current customers, it depends. Yeah, I wouldn't show them an ad for an LBO, but maybe some sort of upgraded program. If you have some sort of, like for me, I've got boot camps, and then above the boot camps, I've got some strength training stuff that's a little bit higher price point. So each level of traffic, each level of warmth, I guess you could say, you would send different types of ads to. You could certainly show cold traffic an ad for an LBO or something like that, which I do. I just don't have my expectations very high. I would want them to get to the sales page, and then maybe on the sales page I can get them to convert at that point. But basically, the warmer they are, the higher likelihood that they will purchase, and in most instances, the less the cost will be. You have a higher ROI. All right, that makes sense, Dan? Good? You probably muted yourself. It's all right, I understand. Move forward. Let's talk about retargeting. Retargeting is one of the biggest features to come to Facebook, and it's really going to be one of the primary things that I'm going to be talking about today. And what that is basically, so I've gone to Home Depot, and let's just say I'm Manly, so I was looking at a drill, and then when I go back to Facebook, I see an ad, just an image, an ad saying, "Hey, you still thinking about buying this drill?" And it happens all the time, and it can happen within seconds. So I've gone to like Reebok and checked out shoes, and then a little bit later I'm scrolling through Facebook, and there's those same shoes. Basically, what they do is they drop what's called essentially a pixel, a tracking pixel, on me, and that's cool. I don't mind. And then they show me an ad for something I've already looked at. I have in some way shown interest in the item that I was looking at, and assuming they're doing their retargeting correctly, I haven't purchased it, so they're going to show me ads. I'm sure different people have different lengths. Maybe they'll show me the ad for those shoes for 2 or 3 weeks or something, and if I don't buy it, they'll remove me. I'll drop off. They probably have a time limit that they have on there. But basically, that's what retargeting is. It's a way to show ads to more relevant ads to more relevant audiences, right? So I'm going to talk to you about a couple different ways that we can easily use those advanced tactics to create customized lists of people to show our ads to. Right? All right, the easiest way, again, hot traffic, is to upload your email list to Facebook. So what you do is you go into your ads manager at the very top. I'm sorry I don't have a graphic of this. At the very top, there's top left, there's like 3 little lines. And if you click those little lines, you'll see something that says audiences, and we can go into audiences. I'm sorry, guys, I'm jumping ahead. This is actually in FitPro newsletter. So you go to contacts, and you just hit that button that says export all contacts. What it does is it actually exports a CSV file that you could basically just upload right into Facebook. And I think that's on the next slide. Yeah, so then we go to that audiences thing, and so basically you go to your ads manager up in the upper right-hand corner. There's 3 little lines. You tick that, and somewhere on there should be a little list that says audiences, and then there's a button that says create audience, and then you see this little thing here that says customer list. And you can drag it right into there, or you can just click that button and upload it directly, and boom, you have created, too fast, you have created a custom list. So basically what you just did was uploaded all of your email list to Facebook and created an audience. And what that means is later you can create an ad that only shows it to those people. Now, I'm a little bit of an anomaly in that I have a ton of trainers from across the country and world who are also on my email list. So I would highly recommend that when you're placing your ad, you also geographically target, which means, yes, show my ad to these people on my email list, but assuming you're a brick and mortar, only show it to people who are on my list who also happen to live within these zip codes or within a couple miles of my place or whatever your thing is, so that you're not showing it to, I've got trainers in Australia and Ireland. I don't need them seeing my list because that's not going to help me, right? But as far as if we think back to our temperature wheel, these people are in the warm category because they're on my email list. And soon I'm going to show you how you can actually leverage this list to create another list, which is actually really cool. So this is a way for us to create a warm audience list, so when we show our ads to these people, they already know, like, and trust us, and they're more likely to click, they're more likely to convert, all right? Hoping that's making sense. Let's talk about video ads. Now, video ads are something that has come a long way. Video for Facebook, now recently they have overtaken YouTube in the amount of video that is uploaded per minute. Per day or whatever. I mean, so they really wanted to overtake YouTube in that video, kind of like the video king slot, and they've really done a good job with that. And the cool thing is, it's funny. I remember reading an article not long ago about the news feed, especially on mobile, and their idea was to have the videos kind of autoplay, right, without audio. So when you're scrolling through your newsfeed on your phone and you see those videos kind of autoplay, they wanted it to look like the newspapers in the Harry Potter movies where the images already moved. That's where they got their inspiration for that. So I thought that was interesting. And now there's so much video on there that now we can leverage that, and we can actually create ads that boost our videos to our audiences. So, but the cool thing about that, and let's see if I got that on my next slide. Let's talk about some video ad tips. Basically, I like to keep the ads relatively short, informative, because we don't necessarily want them to be super long, and there's an exception to that in a minute. You want to make them real, so even the high production value ones don't tend to play as well. People seem to be more interested in the ones that are just a little bit more, shot with your iPhone. As long as the sound is good and it's just you being real and giving some good content, people like that a lot. And, make them content rich. Give out your best stuff. And one of the biggest things that they're really playing up right now is the Facebook Live. And that you want to do from your, I'm actually going to be going over more of this in DC, but basically there's an app you use called Pages, so that you go live from your actual Facebook page, and you don't want to do it from your personal account. You want to do it from your Facebook fan page. But go live. People love these live feeds now. They're doing very well. And there's some really cool tricks that I can show you on how to leverage that for promotional purposes, and just getting your brand awareness, to know that you're the guy or the girl that has their Monday motivational video that comes out, and people just love that, right? All right, let me see where I am on the next. But now, one of the things that just came out within the last couple weeks is custom video audiences. So what you can do is, once you create your video, right, you can just do a very simple boost. There's like that boost button off to the bottom right there. You can do a very general boost. We say, yeah, show this video to people in my zip codes, in this particular age bracket, right, and just a very general boost. And so you might not get any sales off of that, but what we can get is a custom audience. We can get an audience of people who have viewed your video. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Basically, we go back, so this is brand new. We go into your ads manager again, and then the upper right, you tick the those three little lines, and it'll drop down, and you go to audiences again, and then you say create audience. And this comes up, engagement on Facebook. Okay, so you tick that. What kind of engagement do you want to create? What kind of engagement do you want to use to create this audience? So we just click video. And so now the type of engagement, now here you have this drop down. So basically you can create an audience from people who have viewed your video for at least 3 seconds. That said, people who have viewed your audience for 3 seconds, the number of people will be far greater, but the likelihood, that they'll be very qualified is going to be much lower. So the longer they watch your video, the more likely they are to be more relevant, right? So you can do people who have viewed your video for 10 seconds. You can do 25%, 50%, 75%, and 95%. Some people over at Digital Marketer did some testing, and they said they had their best results with people who viewed it for at least 25%. So that's the one I've been using. It seems to be working out pretty well. So now we're going to click next. And now, so what we choose is we want to have people who viewed at least 25% of our video. And then there's actually a button, I think I skipped over it here, where you choose which video you're talking about, and it'll go to your fan page and it'll list all the videos, and you can create, yep, I want, this is the one that I boosted, so I want to see how many you want to, it'll track, sorry, got ahead of myself. It'll track, people who have viewed your video for the last 180 days, and you just give it a description. So basically, you can boost your video. What I like to do is boost the video, send a link via my, to my email list, get them to check it out too, and because with the hope that they share, that when they like it, then that'll show up on their friends' newsfeeds. Hey, Joan liked this video, and then the next person will watch it and stuff. So I try to get it out there. I want to get more eyeballs on it, so that when I'm creating this custom audience, I can get more people within this audience of people who have viewed at least 25% of my video. So now I've created, again, I went from having cold traffic, which would have been the people who watched the video, people who were shown the video. Now I'm seeing people who actually watched the video for at least 25%, and now they're much warmer. And the cool thing about this is you can create audiences for dirt cheap. It is so inexpensive. You're like paying sometimes less than a cent per video viewer, and that's just insane. That's just great. All right, so that's one of my new favorite ways of creating a custom audience. Now, the one that I was referencing earlier is about pixels, right? Facebook gives you a pixel code, and then basically what you do is you insert that on every every web page you have, So like I said, when I go to Reebok or Home Depot or Macy's or any of those websites, even Amazon, they pixel you, right? And so then when you go back to Facebook or other platforms, you'll see ads for those things. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put pixels every single place we can, all right? Every single place we can, so that we can, potentially target those people. So let's say, I have a blog, and I create a blog post on mobility, right? And it's a nice long post. I, send it out to my email list. I post it up on Facebook. Get a lot. Try to get some eyeballs on it, but I pixel it too. Then I can create an audience of everybody who visited that page, and then I can even send them. Then I'll send them an ad for my new mobility program, right? Or maybe some sort of mobility opt-in or something like that. So I can target them because I know that they went to that mobility page. All right. So that's how we can do it in the short term. Now let me give you a little bit of specifics here. So what you can do is you go to those three little lines again on your ads manager, and you go to audiences, and then there's one of the buttons there should say View Custom Audience Pixel, and this is it. This is all this numbers and goop right here. That's what you want to copy and paste. Now, if you got a web dude, you copy and paste that, and you give it to them. Basically, again, it's the same code no matter what page we're talking about. We're talking about a ClickFunnels page. We're talking about your blog. We're talking about your sales page. Whatever you have, it's the same code, right? That same code goes on everything, and then you split it up in Facebook a little bit later. We're going to take that code. Okay, here we go. We put it on ClickFunnels pages, blog pages, landing pages, FitPro pages. Yeah, if you create a page within FitPro newsletter, yes, you can put that tracking code in there as well. Every single page you have, because Facebook has the ability, once that code is on there, Facebook has the ability to go back up to 180 days and see who has already been there. So let's take that blog post example I was just talking about. Let's say I wrote that mobility post, and by default, every blog post I make, that code is on there. But then I go, a couple months later, damn it, I meant to create an audience. Well, if that code was on there, I can still go into Facebook, create the audience, and Facebook knows that that pixel was fired on that page, you know, how many times and who did it, and they can still create that audience for me. So that is why, by default, you want to have that pixel everywhere already before that page goes live, so make sure that pixel is on it. All right? Yeah, and it's the same code. People say, well, do I have to put a different code on my sales page, on my, you know, this page, that page? No, absolutely not. So for instance, you guys might know Bedros Keuilian runs a massive fitness empire, and he's got a bunch of different things going on. So let's take, for instance, he's got Fitness Business Summit coming up. So he would take his pixel code and put it on Fitness Business Summit so that he could pixel people who visit that page and didn't buy yet and say, hey, don't forget to buy. But he also helps do the Facebook ads for his wife Diana's cookbooks, right? So he can put that same code on her pages and just create a different audience of people who visited her cookbook pages. It'll be a completely separate audience from the people who visited his Fitness Business Summit page, but the pixel code is exactly the same. You just create the audiences separately, if that makes sense. A lot of people get tripped up on that. It's not as hard to understand once you do it. Conceptually, it's a little hard when there's just, you know, a guy on the webinar telling you about it, but once you plug it in, oh yeah, that makes sense.
So basically you use the code then later, Josh, to say, hey, everyone that was pixeled from this page, I want to create a mobility blog custom audience or a recipe hacker, or, you know, I can create different audiences.
Whatever it is. Yeah, so if you're using a WordPress blog, there's some plugins. You can just type in Facebook Pixel, and a couple will come in, and then you install it on your Facebook thing, and then you cut and paste that code in there, and it'll put that pixel code on every single page that exists and every single page that you, like if you do new blog posts, it'll already be on there. Yeah. And so the cool part, and like I said, you know, optimally you would say, I'm going to post this and I'm going to go create the audience the same day, but let's say you forgot. Well, you're still fine so long as the pixel code was installed from day one, you know, then the audience, you know, is kind of there waiting for you essentially. All right, so now we're going to go back, and so now I'm going to show you how to just kind of create that audience. And basically what you do is you go into Ads Manager again, you click that 3 buttons, you go to Audiences, Create Audience, and then this time I already showed you the customer list, which is the one right above this. Now we're going to go to Website Traffic, and we're going to click that. And so we're going to go and type in, and this is a drop down there. That first one is people who visit specific web pages. So because you don't want it to be just an entire domain, you want it to be a specific web page. So for instance, that mobility post. So then in that next thing where the URL contains, you put it in. So I just put in that example, but you know, it would be the URL for whatever that mobility thing is. So you want to save it for 180 days, unless for instance you want it to drop off, which there are some instances like, you know, maybe Reebok doesn't want to show me that ad for 6 months continuously. Maybe it just wants to show it to me for 2 weeks, then you chop that number down. But there's that little checkbox that says include past web traffic, and that's in case you're creating the audience, you know, days, weeks, months after you actually pixeled the page. And then you just give it a name, you hit create audience, and boom, you are done. And then what happens is these type of things are created. So this first one is my subscriber list. The second one is a win 6 months. These other ones are, oops, sorry. Other video engagement ones, so audiences that were created from the videos. So now you have all these audiences that you could mix and match, right? So depending on what they were seeing, you could show them various ads. That way we get because again, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, we want to get the right eyeballs. We want to get the right message in front of the right eyeballs, and by creating these custom audiences, then that's that's a great way to do that. I think I got one more method here. Let's see. Ah, yes, lookalikes. It's the next best thing. So, for instance, what we can do is create a lookalike audience, an audience that looks a lot like an audience we already created. So, for instance, one of the best audiences we're going to have is going to be, well, the best audience we probably have would be a list of buyers, right? So if you have your list segmented and you have people who have currently bought from you, that's really going to be your hottest one. The second best list would be just subscribers, people who have just subscribed to you. And actually something that I also recommend, I would make a list of people who have unsubscribed too. Depending on who your email service person is, if it's FitPro Newsletter or one of those, you could potentially even get a list of everybody who has unsubscribed from you and upload that. Because I'll be honest, man, I've had as many unsubscribes as I've had subscribes. So, I've got a big list of those people, and I know at least at one point they were interested in my stuff, so I wouldn't mind showing them my stuff again. But what we can do is once we take any audience that we've already created, whether it be video views, subscribers, people who have visited my webpage, whatever it is, we can create a lookalike, an audience that looks a hell of a lot like the one we just created. So we do that, we go into that same audiences button and we put create lookalike audience. And so in this example, I uploaded my subscriber list from August 2016. And then there's this slider button where it says audience size. And the more to the left we are, the more alike they are to my audience, to the audience I've uploaded. The more to my left, the larger the number would be, but the less like the audience they would be. So they're more alike to the left and more less alike to the right. I hope that makes sense. But there's more people. So I prefer to keep mine more alike. I don't know what Facebook uses to do that, but they basically say these people are within 1% of your current audience. So that's how alike they are, within 1%. That's pretty cool. So for me, with my subscriber list of 8,000, give or take, it generated an audience of 2 million people. Now, keep in mind, those 2 million people are within the United States, and I don't need to market to the United States. So I could create this lookalike audience that looks a lot like my subscribers. That's 2 million people. Then when I go to place the ad, I just geographically target. Please show it to this lookalike audience who happen to live within, these zip codes or this radius of my place. And you can do that for any audience. So lookalike audiences are a great way to target people who look a lot like audiences you already know like you. All right?
So Josh, what should that number be? So if you were doing that in West Hills, are you looking for 2,000, 10,000, 200,000?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because every town is, every place is going to be different. In LA, I'll probably have thousands, 8,000, 10,000 people that reach that. But if you're in the middle of Kentucky, it might be 200. But hell, I'll show an ad. How many of those 200 people? How many people do I need to show to sign up to make it worth it? Like what, 2?
Right.
I'll take 2 clients.
Sure.
2 clients is great. Especially if I can convert 50% of them to a year. Well, great. That's another $2,000. So it doesn't have to be huge numbers. Unfortunately, with brick and mortar, we do deal with much smaller numbers, and that's fine. Facebook, a lot of the marketing that they send out say, oh, hey, grow your business. They're talking about much bigger businesses that are national, but that's all right. It still works out for us. So anyway, it's kind of a way of creating an audience that is more likely to be very receptive to your. So it's kind of like a warm cold, because they might not know you, but the likelihood is they're going to like you. So that's still pretty good. All right, make sense?
Yep, absolutely. So it's somebody that would go out on a date with you. They just haven't met you yet.
That's it. Yeah, it's kind of like Tinder. No, nothing like Tinder. All right. So basically, just putting it all together, when you take some of the retargeting, when you create audiences that will be more receptive to your message, and you couple that with some awesome funnels, with some offers, with some good landing pages, and obviously we not just targeting, but we need good ads as well. You're looking at a flood of new clients, and the cool thing is it doesn't matter the age range. It just so happens that it works across all age ranges, and so when we get the right message in front of the right eyeballs, and couple that with a great offer, you're talking about a flood of new clients. I think that's all I got, Dan.
Sweet. Well, Josh, thanks so much for doing this. Folks, go ahead and start piping in your questions. MJ had a question, Josh, about that Facebook code. She was asking, and I don't think you can do this, but she was asking, can you show us an example of putting this code on a page, please? So I know in FitPro, it's really easy. You just put the code right in a box where it says, put your Facebook pixel here. But so on a website, like, a WordPress website, do I need to get that to my web guy, or is it an easy?
WordPress, if you're not adept at WordPress, you want to
basically hand that over to the person who built your website and say, put this on every page.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good question from Kathleen. How much do you spend per location monthly on your Facebook ad marketing?
Okay, that's a great question. For my opt-ins, for me personally, I spend $10 a day, so $300 a month, give or take. And what I want to get out of that is 300 emails. So if I can get $1 per email, I'm a happy man. If I can get less, even happier, right? When it starts creeping up towards 150, I know I got to retool something. If I'm promoting, again, this is LA specific because I'm in I have a lot of competition. I'll spend $100 a day if I'm promoting.
Okay.
I have found for me, $100 seems to be a sweet spot. Currently, I always test. but different areas it'll be less. And what I found is when I spent more, I didn't get any higher take rate.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Jean LaFleur asked the same thing about demonstrating that Facebook pixel code. I don't know if you have the ability to do that, but
you see I can show you where to get the code, but it's where to put it is the answer, is the real question.
Yeah, that's the real question. Yep.
Yeah, because it varies from platform to platform. It depends if you're talking about ClickFunnels, if you're talking about WordPress. For WordPress, if you're the one doing it, it should be pretty easy. You find a plugin.
Yeah. Okay. Luke, I think, is in the UK, says, does FitPro newsletter have landing page templates? He's very new to FitPro.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so let me load up FitPro here. So like I said, I'm big on opt-ins, and this month I've already got 222, and that's pretty good considering we're not even halfway through the month.
Yep.
So I am all about the emails because that's about the know, like, trust. So if we're in FitPro newsletter, I am not a master of this, but I'm pretty decent. So let's see if I can figure it out. So if you go to promotions and pages, there it is. Add page over here on the right. Now we have different types of pages. You can do an opt-in, a blank, a consultation, refer a friend. I'm just going to do an opt-in. Look, there's all these. Oh, man, they've added new ones since the last time I did it. Right. So here's all these different types of pages that you can add. You do that, and you choose your different template. And I'm going to pick that one, and you can choose. Yeah, great. Use that template. And then you can edit it all up, but what is cool is social media settings. There it is, right there. So this is where you put that pixel code right there.
Yep, very easy. I assume ClickFunnels, lead pages, they're pretty simple on putting your Facebook tracking pixel in there as well.
Yeah, it's really simple. I don't know about lead pages. I've never used it, but I can't imagine it's very hard. ClickFunnels is super simple. And the cool thing about ClickFunnels, there's one you can, once you create a new funnel, there's one place you put it, and it puts it on every page within the funnel.
Yeah. Okay.
And here's a little fun tip. If you're using Chrome, which I highly recommend, there's this thing up here called Facebook Pixel Helper. So up in the right here, and what it tells me is that this particular page is pixeled. So let's say that I go, like I say, and go to Reebok.com. And let's say I want to look at. I'll just click on this first. Men's CrossFit shoes, and so now you see that I am pixeled right there. Because there's that green little one. You see that? You see that?
Yep, seeing it. So you know you're being tracked.
Yeah.
They are going to get you to buy those CrossFit shoes, or else.
Yeah. So I imagine. Let's a little game. Let's go back here. Go to my Facebook. And what do you know?
Hey.
You bought shoes right there.
Shocking.
Yeah. So that's how fast it can work, man. So anyway, if you get Chrome, you get that Facebook Pixel Helper, because that way when you go to your web pages, like let's like this. We go here. I want to make sure. I want to make sure that I'm pixeled. Like, I want to make sure it works, and then I happen to know my pixel code number. If I click on that, and I can see that, like, I know the last 4 digits of mine are 0554, and so if I look, yep, cool, that's the right pixel. I know that I did it right.
Cool. So Gene follows up, I think, for a web developer should understand where to put this code in any forum.
Yeah, a web developer will know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, okay. Kathleen asks, so when you have an ad running for an offer, you spend $100, how long do you run the ad?
Depends on the promotion, but the short answer is until it stops working. So if it's an evergreen promotion, you just keep running it. Like if it's an opt-in, I've been running the same opt-in for over a year. One of the things I do is I rotate the image on the ad, but the offer's the same once they go to the landing page. That hasn't changed. So I'll continue to run it until it doesn't work anymore. Now, obviously, if an LBO has a start date, like for instance, I'm running a 6-week challenge right now, and it starts on Monday. So on Friday, Saturday, I'll stop running ads because time's up.
Yeah. Okay. And an LBO is low barrier offer. Somebody asked that earlier. What's an LBO?
Low barrier offer. It's some sort of shorter-term program that allows people to essentially try out your services. It's a lot of value out of it for a relatively low price.
Okay, cool. So Kathleen asks another question. Can you pixel an email sent through FitPro?
No. Good question, but no. And you wouldn't necessarily need to because they're already on your email address, already on your email list, so that's cool.
Right.
There are certain ways, although I don't know within FitPro, you can see who opens it. One of the cool features that people don't really realize is in FitPro, and again, I'm pretty good, but I'm not an expert on it, is there's the ability within the FitPro newsletter to resend an email to people who didn't open it. So my recommendation on that is, like, if you're sending out a promo email and you look the next day and you had a, the bigger the list, the less the open rate percentage, right?
Sure.
But you can resend that same email to people who didn't open it and just tweak the subject line, give it a different subject line, and actually Bedros actually said, it works well is do something contrarian. So whatever slant you took on the first subject line, make it say the opposite. Obviously just making sure it makes sense.
Okay. Can you show us? Hank is asking if you can show some examples of an ad or two. I think he's
Sure.
wondering how much do you write in an ad, so like how much copy is in the ad.
Yeah, hold on one sec.
And I would just follow up with Kathleen. There's really no reason to pixel an email you sent because you already have the audience. So you, like Josh showed, you can load that email list right into Facebook to create a custom audience.
Exactly. So there's different types of ads, and this is kind of what I'm going to be going over in DC to the best of my ability. I have been experimenting with using post ads as opposed to clicks to website, but let me just show you what I'm talking about. So this is an ad I'm running right now. Sometimes I get too caught up in the stats, so I literally have to say, let it run for 24 hours and don't click on it every 15 minutes and freak out. So I sometimes have to just step away, say, just breathe, right? So here's an ad I'm running right now. So the difference being, actually, let me jump into Facebook so I can show you the difference of what I'm talking about, because I have had good luck with this. So here we go. Okay. Well, no, that's Lewis. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm just going to try to find an ad. Here we go. Quest bars. So this is what we call a clicks to website. Yeah, I think they call it clicks to website. They keep renaming what they call it, but basically, there's got a little bit of text here. We have this rectangular image, and there's this box, this whole box right here. And any time you click within that box, oh, look, they've got the same ad in two places. It'll take you to whatever it is, to Quest Nutrition, which, by the way, I really like their stuff. And these new blueberry muffin bars, really good.
I think they know you like their stuff.
Yeah, as much money as I spend on them per month. So this is what a clicks to website is. The downside, and this is just a personal feeling based on my relatively small field tests, is that this registers to people as an ad.
Sure. Yep.
So, not that it's necessarily bad, just that registers as an ad, as opposed to, okay, that's probably another ad. Yeah. So same thing, text, rectangular image, some stuff. We got some call to action buttons. It works pretty good. What I have found that I've been liking is something like this. Let me show you on desktop news feed. So this is what it would look like in the news feed, right there. Although mistakenly I like using square images. This one I didn't choose a square image, but I have text. But the image, if you click on the image, it makes the image huge. So what they would have to do is click the actual link to go to my offer. So it is less like an ad. But this one's got 63 likes, so that's pretty cool. Since I just turned it on last night, maybe, so that's not bad. My little thing. And so they have to click there. So as opposed to a one-step where they click that image and something happens, this is two steps. But again, my feeling is that it gets more traction, it gets more likes and stuff, and it looks less, generally speaking, like an ad.
Right. Sure. Okay. A couple more questions, and then we'll wrap up here. There's a couple questions on LBOs in terms of what people should be charging, and
Okay.
I think some of that's
I've got some good
Facebook,
recommendations
so
on that.
over
Sure.
150, close to your regular price, under 100. What do you think?
Depends on, what I like to do is do the math and split it up. And what I mean by that is, what is your annual, assuming your ultimate goal is an annual agreement price, right? So, I'm sorry, your ultimate goal is an annual agreement. I want these people signing on the dotted line to agree to come for a year. What I have them do is figure out, so if we're doing let's say a 14-day program and my normal price is $200 a month. Let's just say $200 a month. So if I split it up, that means it's essentially $50 a week. So for a 2-week program, I would charge $100 or $97. And then what I would do is discount it slightly. I like to keep it right within, not a huge difference between what they would pay if they went full price. So while you could do like a 21 for 21 days for $21 program, and that's awesome, you will get a ton of people. The problem is when you say, hey, that's great, and now it's going to be $200 a month after that. People are like, oh shit, that's a big difference. That's a big jump. So you will have less qualified people. People will have, would likely say, you know what, never mind. Sure. So I like to keep it right within my price range. So for instance, on my 6-week program, I charge $300, give or take. Yes, that's $297. A little bit less if they prepay. And so that way they're kind of preconditioned. So when they go to sign on the dotted line, it's for $197. They have it in their heads. It's a little bit less than they were paying, and essentially it's the same rate, right? It's the
right.
Same.
Yep. Exact same rate. Yep.
I keep it with not always. Sometimes I do it 2 weeks for 47 and see what happens. But I try not to discount too much because I have found the lower the price, the less likely they are to convert.
Sure. Sure.
But
yeah.
Honestly, man, sometimes you just need butts in the door, and so sometimes that's a good idea.
Low barrier. Low barrier does not mean low cost. It's just the low barrier in this case is a short commitment.
Yes, exactly. Right, yeah, because people fear commitment. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why it's imperative that when you get them in on these low barrier offers, you show them as much love as possible, right? So I have somebody on my staff. I chose to have a trainer do this. I have them reach out and communicate with them a minimum of 3 times per week when they're on an LBO. Text, phone call, email, Facebook message. I don't care. Sometimes people have a preferred method of contact. And what I have them do is I have my trainer contact them and just check in, see how they're doing. Nothing specific. I have them what's called the primacy effect. Set me up as kind of the rock star and say, hey, Josh wanted me to check in with you and see how you're doing, see if you had any questions regarding the program. Make sure there's no questions we can answer. And the reason I have a trainer do that, which costs me a little bit more, is because if they do have a question, I want whoever talking to them to be able to answer it.
Yeah.
Right? If I had an admin do it, they wouldn't necessarily be able to answer, hey, my knee's hurting, I'm having problems eating this or that or whatever. So I want someone who's qualified to be on the line with them to be able to answer.
Sure. Hey, Kenneth Castile shouts hello to you, says he's in the airport watching this, and he asks, building an email list using this strategy would also work well for lead generation, wouldn't it? I think that's sort of what you showed in FitPro. You've added 200 some emails, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to say last month I think I got 400, so that was a really good month. Yeah, look at that, man. I got 2 emails in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, that's probably people watching this webinar. They jumped on your email list.
No, get off my list, you guys. You are worthless to me.
Okay, last question. There's been several people, Josh, asking if the webinar will be available later. I think they're going to want to rewatch it.
No,
yes, it's recorded.
Let's delete it.
It's recorded, so they're going to have to pay
extra fee.
Pay extra for that. So, Joe Weaver asks, have you tried carousel ads?
I have not. No, honestly, I don't know anything about carousel. Wait. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking Periscope. Carousel ads. Yes, that is a different type of ad that has, let's see if I can find one here, that has multiple pictures. Here we go. So here's one right here.
Yeah.
Actually, this is it's funny. Normally they're square, so maybe they've updated things. Oh, you know what? This isn't an ad. This is other pages I might like. But essentially it looks exactly like this, where you kind of scroll through. I have tried it, but only a little, and cost per click was way higher for me.
Okay. Okay.
So it did not work on the limited. I've only got so many things to offer, so I can only test things every once in a while. So I tried to only have my clients and my fit body owners do things that I know have worked. So it's a little hard for me. I can't test everything. I was trying to see
Sure.
if I can find it, but I'm not seeing it. But it looked like that. Okay.
Yeah, I've run carousel ads and I've found similar things that they don't perform as well as just running something simple. So
Yep.
not sure why that is, but seems to be a little higher per lead. So it hasn't been worth it for me either. So. Well, Josh, thanks so much for doing this. For those of you listening live, Josh is going to be at our DC event, which is functionalagentinstitute.com/DC event, and he's going to spend a full 90 minutes helping you build a Facebook funnel. So if you're totally new to Facebook, you've never run your first ad, he's going to help you get over that hump. And if you're ready to do some of the advanced stuff like create custom audiences, video audiences, Facebook pixels, he'll be able to do that with you as well. It's going to be a small group, about 40 to 50 trainers, so you're going to get a lot of hands-on attention.
Oh, awesome.
So you're going to really be able to dial in your Facebook funnels. So again, that's functionalagentinstitute.com/DC event. And we hope to see you guys there. Josh, thanks so much for doing this and helping
You are
trainers
very welcome.
around the world, buddy. So I will see you in DC next month.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Dan, have a good one.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye.